the strongest form of grit, right, is dealing with human beings.
The team I joined, I was the only front end. And when I joined, they were like, oh, you're an engineer. You're not an intern, you're an engineer. And within the first 3 months, I already got the product up to production.
First week as well in the job, they're like, oh yeah, you know, we have to think of like an expansion strategy. So this thing would go to the board. I'm like, the board? What do you mean the board? Like I just came here. I just came here like, what do you mean? Okay, guys, so what does grit mean to you as a Moniepoint employee?
For me, I'll say what I do every day because, I mean, everything for me involves grit, right? Because it has to do with engagement. I think the strongest form of grit, right, is dealing with human beings, right? Because it requires a lot of grit because you would see a lot of things. And that's my job, really, because I'll have to engage internal stakeholders. External stakeholders, vendors. People expect some certain pushbacks. So it's left for me to manage and refuse because, oh, there's a pushback. I just say, oh, there's a pushback, so we can actually achieve this. Right? So for me, grit is knowing that this is what is coming, finding a way to actually close it out and actually closing it out and delivering results. So
for me, I would say grit represents perseverance. I also have to deal with a lot of stakeholders. The product team wants something, the backend have configured the API in a certain way and all that. Everybody doesn't really care how the job gets done. It's the job must be done, right? So being able to persevere and satisfy all the concerns of all the involved parties, right? So that for me is great. When I joined Moniepoint, this was a year ago, and I came in as an intern, I was like, oh, they'll just give me, you know, tiny tasks, because I'm an intern, right?
10 tasks.
Yeah, and I'll have a senior, my front-end guy that manages me. The team I joined, I was the only front-end.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and when I joined, they were like, oh, you're an engineer, you're not an intern, you're an engineer. And I remember within the first 3 months, I already got the product up to production already, within the first 3 months of being a part. And it was a very interesting journey for me because I learned a lot about myself during that period, just working on that.
So you tested your grit.
I can definitely relate to you both, like from both the people side and also like just getting the actual work done. I think for me, grit just means like to keep hitting at something until like, you know, it works out. And so in my role, right, on the investor relations part is there's a ton of data collection that happens because when you speak to funders, they want to get like some, you know, like a different kind of data from different teams, and so you go to the team and maybe like the team doesn't have the data in the way that they want it, right? Or like maybe maybe they're busy because again, like at the end of the day, like teams have the KPIs and your problem is not really theirs, you know, in a sense. So having to say, okay, guys, please like give me this thing, like you know, what can actually even help you, like even work in your team to get this data in a way that I want it.
So I think it gets. I mean, once you start applying grit from the first start and then you continue, I think it gets better. I mean, same with me, right? Same with me. That first time, so we are going to present this to the board. Like what board? Like board. And I was like, yes, it was just constant heart palpitations. Until it came out like, then now it's like a walk, you say, oh, the board, oh yeah, this. Yes. So that's the whole thing, but yeah.
So you mentioned how you have to deal with people every day in your role. What's the difference between, let's say, grit and stubbornness?
So grit and stubbornness is the same, but it's different in purpose and impact. Grit would want to tell you that I can do it. Stubbornness will be like a roadblock. Grit will tell you what's the way forward. Stubbornness will tell you it has to be my way. So grit wants to get the job done. Stubbornness will be like a blocker because I insist this is my way.
I guess there is some pride or ego in stubbornness. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. Because if you're stubborn, you're refusing to see
other pathways
of solution, because the goal is to provide solution. So you know that this goal will provide you the solution, but I must go through this way. I mean, there are several ways to go through it, and this way might even be easier, but you refusing to acknowledge. So there's a thing of self. Someone asked me, how long have you been doing this business? It's not about the business. It's about I need this solution for my people.
Yeah.
Right. I have internal stakeholders that I need to satisfy, and they
Yeah.
need to ensure that they get optimal result. Funny story, it can happen internally too. So we're having conversations with internal teams.
Yeah.
They require a certain. They have a need.
Yeah.
And then we are saying, so in order to satisfy this need, let's go this route, right? And then they'll be like, no, this route. Now, I would lay down options. I would like, if we go this route, these are the problem. But I think it's just having a one-sided view to things. So now it makes the job harder. But then I think we now have to apply more grit. You have to top up your grit level to actually get it, because it's a need that they need.
Yeah.
Despite them refusing, but it is what it is.
You as an engineer, right, working like within a business unit,
Yeah.
what happens when maybe say someone else has like a different idea on how a problem should be solved? Like,
So I think that plays
how
out
do you-
with maybe I was thinking the back end guys
Yeah.
and the product team.
Yeah.
The product
exactly,
is saying
yeah.
this, back end I said,
Back end, yeah.
I've already done this. So and then
stuck
you're in the middle.
Like, yeah.
So-
How do you-
So
how does the grid play out?
most times when we have issues like that, everybody first join the huddle. Let's get everybody first.
Yeah.
Then we now start discussing, okay, what do we actually want to solve? Right? Clearly define. If we solve the problem, what should it look like? Right? Once we can clearly define that, then we now look into, okay, how does your implementation match this? Then we now look at, okay, from the front end part, what do I need to get the solution that we've discussed?
Okay.
If I bring it, if it's something different to what backend has, we evaluate, okay, their existing use case, does it cater for my need? If not, what can they incorporate?
So I think for me, I'd say the major difference between grit and stubbornness to me is just knowing when to stop. And the way that shows up in my team is that so like, as you know, like in Moniepoint, we work with tons of like dashboard, right? And I always get lots of data requests from investors, right? Like for different teams. And I think sometimes when you go and ask a team for data, it's almost like pulling like teeth, like out of like, it's so hard. It's just like I don't have like I don't have it. I was like, why do you need this data, right? I think knowing when to push and when to say, okay, you know what, we don't have this data. Like what is the best what is the proxy? Like what's the best alternative that we can use? I think like that's where I stick with, because I'll keep on like pestering you until like 2 years. Like it will never come out. Can you just move on and
If
and
you
like
didn't do.
yeah, it didn't do. It's like it's just not there. So yeah, I think in my personal life, the most recent time when I had to like apply grit from work is when I was house hunting. If you know, house hunting in Lagos it's like passing like camel through needle's eye or whatever. It's really
Cameras will pass really. But
See, it's almost
nah.
impossible. I think like just like saying, you know, okay, what is my goal? What is my goal? What's my goal? Because I mean, like you will see houses that will make you to like change it. I'm like Chidinma, no, hold on. What is my goal? What other way can I go to? Like I went to like multiple agents. Like I went to like different. Like I even like started going like house by house and saying, you know what? Like, oh, like hi, this is a nice house. Do you have any open? Like, so it's like having to go to like different methods to just like get to like the house that I wanted. And I feel like that to me felt like how I would like, you know, solve a work problem. Was like, you know what, which way, like who do I need to talk to, like which strings I have to pull to get me this outcome that I want. So yeah, I think that was the most recent time that I had to like exercise grit.
what other team actually exhibit or shows this grit? Like you know that, like outside the norm, right? What team do you think out of the top of your head that shows?
Me, I think all teams in Moniepoint exhibit grit.
Yeah.
That's just me personally, but yeah.
Yeah, so while I was thinking about this, I don't know why talent acquisition stuck in my head.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
Interesting, yeah.
Because I know that let's say for a random job opening in Moniepoint, just the fact that it's a Moniepoint opening,
10,000 people up.
but the number of applications they have to sift through, then making sure that the person the culture aligns with what we are looking for in Moniepoint and all that. I know sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming for them, especially when you have teams saying, oh, we need this role filled urgently, we need this, we need that, and everybody is trying to get them to put them first in their recruitment and everything. So yeah, so I feel it can be a bit overwhelming, and it's where they would it's a role that definitely requires them exhibiting grit constantly?
Man, for me, I think that the Ezekiel's team, that's like the offline distribution DNS team, yeah. So basically, what you build,
Yeah.
that the guys who go sell that to customers, and like
Yeah.
these people, they don't speak to you, so like there's not like a direct contact,
Yeah.
right? But it's like how they're able to translate what we give them and sell that to customers,
Yeah.
and basically like we hit all these big numbers. To me, it takes like grit.
For my own end, I think the POS repair team. I mean,
they come to work every day, so that's already great compared to Moniepoint stuff because we all work remotely.
So they are always there.
Yeah.
I mean, I've sat down and watched a technician battle with a terminal, and that was a lot of effort.
Yeah.
He tried it, failed, came back at it again, failed, came back at it again. So you might not just sit down until you like pay attention to this
Yeah.
thing. So yeah, I mean, kudos to the POS team. They're
I
actually
agree.
doing a lot of work.
Yeah.